STNCs, teachers. I'm really honorable to get this golden opportunity to conduct this 1 hour training program conducted by Jksm SAHODAYA Schools Complex under the aegis of Confederation of JHARKHAND SAHODAYAS in association with COE Patna. This is a 1 hour training program. Now, today I'm going to begin with my topic. My today's topic is importance of personal hygiene, nutrition, and health for the adolescents. My screen is visible?
No, sir, it's not visible.
Now?
Now it's visible.
Yes, now it is visible, sir.
So today's my topic is importance of personal hygiene, nutrition, and health for adolescents. As Anupam sir has told, regarding adolescence, adolescence refers to the period and process of rapid growth and physical and mental development of the children. Okay. They are just changing from childhood to adulthood. At this stage, they undergo many hormonal changes. Their beliefs, their thinking changes. So it is time period when we teachers as guardians need to support them and help them and make them understand the importance of personal hygiene, nutrition, and health. Because that is the time period when they think that what they do is correct and right. But we as teachers and guardians, we need to make them understand that you have to focus on the personal health and hygiene. You have to take care of the proper food. This is very important. Now, what is nutrition as today's topic? Nutrition is a biochemical and physiological process by which an organism uses food to support life. Without food, we can't survive. So even adolescents also, they need to take proper food. Generally, nutrition comprises 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Next, we come to health. Okay. Health, we all of you as teachers, we know, health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Then we come to hygiene. Hygiene conditions or practices are conducive to maintain health and preventing diseases, especially through cleanliness. So as students, as adolescents, they need to take personal care of themselves. Okay. Now, let us come to importance of nutrition during adolescence. Okay. Healthy eating during adolescence is important as body changes during this time effect and individuals' nutritional and dietary needs. So healthy eating is required for the adolescents. They need to take proper diet. They have to take proper food. And basically, as adolescents, which we refer to as puberty, is time period between, you can say, 13 to 15 or 13 to 17 varies from country to country. If it is a cold country, then that period is delayed a bit. But it is the time period when the different hormones, they have been secreted. Like in the case of the males, the second sex hormones, testosterone, is being released or secreted. In the case of female, the estrogen, it brings up secondary sexual characters. So this time period when adolescents, they develop different physical, mental conditions, and for that reason, food is an essential criteria. Now teens are becoming more independent and making many food decisions on their own. The teenagers, they think what food they're taking is correct. So for that reason, they take their own food decisions. They don't want to listen to the parents. They don't want to listen to the guardians, what they say. But as guardians, as teachers, we can guide them. When we take classes, we can tell them what sort of food they should take, what is important for them, that is required. Because at that time, they might feel what they're doing is correct. So many teens have growth spurt and an increase in appetite and need healthy foods to meet their needs. Many teens, they take a lot of food, they have increase in appetite, but if it is seen, it is found that they basically depend on the junk food or the fast food or spicy food. They have taste for that, but is it helpful for them? They don't think in that way. So we teachers, we have to tell them that what sort of food, what is required for them and what they should take. This is very, very important for all the teenagers and the adolescents. Next, you can see here, okay, here is a healthy eating plate. Now, why I'm telling this as a healthy eating plate? If you see this diagram, on the plate you can observe vegetables are present, fruits are there, whole grains, healthy protein, okay, healthy oils, and water. So this actually forms the balanced diet where you can find all sorts of fruits, vegetables, grains, everything is present. As I told you, students, adolescents, and teenagers, they don't want to consume fruits. They think that fruit is useless. But we have to tell them what is the importance of the fruit. Fruit is a protective food. If they don't take fruit, they might suffer from many sort of disease. So for that reason, the fruit which is seasonal, that they should be consumed. You have to tell them, take seasonal fruits. A fruit a day is very important for growing children and adolescents. Next, vegetables. Vegetables of all sorts or different types. It can be green vegetables, it can be red vegetables, it can be green leafy vegetables. Whatever you say, that has to be consumed and taken. Vegetables, they contain a lot of minerals, some vitamins, that has to be consumed. And what we have observed, what we see among children, they don't want to take fruits and vegetables. When the mother serves them with food, they don't like it. Rather, what they like? They like to take the food from the hotel, from any restaurant, spicy foods, whole grains, like the cereals, they form the staple food. It can be wheat, rice, oats, but it has to be consumed. Because ultimately, we have to see the nutritional value of the food product. Next is healthy protein. Protein can be taken or consumed two forms. Maybe plant protein, maybe animal protein. But growing children need more protein. Why? For the growth of the cells, for the repair of the damaged cells. If these things we feed in their mind, then they'll understand the importance of the food items, what they should consume. So healthy protein in the form of maybe lean meat or fish, it can be consumed. Or if you are taking plant product, like the leguminous plant, peas or pulses, they also contain lot amount of protein. It can also be consumed. Here you can find healthy oil. Oil, it contains lot of fat, especially saturated oil is very harmful. So it is advised to take unsaturated oils. It can be vegetable oil, not Vanaspati ghee. Vanaspati ghee is saturated. So when you take the classes, we can tell them what sort of oils they should consume. That is going to help them in their health. And last and not least, water. We as teachers, guardians, human beings, or students, we need to drink plenty of water. Water is refreshing. It helps to perform many physiological activities of our life. And students who are doing rigorous exercise or work, they also need to take plenty of water. That has to be told to them. Minimum 3 bottles, 3 liters, 4 liters, what amount of water should be consumed? We as teachers should tell them, drink that much amount of water. You'll find relaxed. Your muscles will work properly. Nowadays, what you find among the teenagers, they have got active towards the gym, but they don't do free hand exercise. So that thing is in their mind, which will come later on in my other slides. But healthy eating is very important. Next, how does nutrition affect adolescent development? Now, adolescent, who's doing annotation? How does nutrition affect adolescent development? Adolescent needs more nutrients than adults because they gain at least 40% of the adult weight and height during this period, because that is the growing period. So they need more nutrients than adult. The weight is increasing, height is increasing, proper growth and development should take place. Okay, muscular development, growth of bones, all are required. So for that reason, they need to take more nutrients. From where they are going to get the nutrients? From food they are consuming. That's the importance of the nutrition. If they don't take proper food, it is going to retard their growth. It is going to delay that sexual development. The reproductive organs are not going to grow or mature properly. And at the same time, slower linear development. In the long term, okay, if nutrition is not taken, then the adults, when they grow old, they suffer. It can have long-term consequences. which as teenagers they have to understand that this time period where you should take proper food, proper diet, healthy diet, drink plenty of water, do physical work, maintain social hygiene, personal hygiene, and public hygiene. That is going to build them. Otherwise, they are going to suffer from many communicable or contagious disease. If they don't take proper diet in the long run, it can lead to obesity. It may lead to cardiac problem. It may lead to osteoporosis. But they don't think at that time, as young children, as young teenagers or adolescents. So ultimately, what you find, food, health are interrelated. So proper food, proper diet is required for all of them. Even if they don't take proper food, it might lead to some non-communicable disease in the form of deficiency disease. There may be lack of vitamin B12, vitamin D, some essential minerals. And what we have observed nowadays is that teenagers or adolescents, especially those athletes, they try to take the supplement nutrients. They think that it is going to pop up. But natural food and supplementary food, it has got difference. They don't understand at that time. Many students during the age of 15 to 18, instead of doing free hand exercise, they join the gym. They use different appliances and apparatus for the muscular growth and development. They're taking the different nutrient or supplementary food. Chemicals has got side effect. Maybe at that time, the growth might take place, but in the long run, they are going to suffer. Next, we come to importance of nutrition. A healthy diet throughout life promotes healthy pregnancy outcomes. It supports normal growth, development, and aging. So if proper diet is taken, the normal growth will take place, proper development take place, and aging is a natural phenomenon. It will occur. But so much complications will not take place at that time. So for that reason, nutrition has got its own importance. Next, it helps to maintain healthy body weight. Okay. A body weight height is important. If proper food, proper diet is taken, then a proper body weight. If a person becomes too much obese, it can lead to many diseases. If a person is lean and thin, it means what is below average. This all occurs basically because of maybe sometimes malnutrition or because proper diet is not taken. So for that reason, nutrition helps to maintain healthy body weight. At the same time, it reduces the risk of chronic disease. Many chronic diseases can appear, leading to overall health and well-being. Now, this is important. If proper diet is taken, chronic disease, many chronic diseases can take place. Next, we come to the feeding habits. What students should be told, and we as teachers need to feed them in their mind. We have to tell them that eat 3 meals a day. 3 meals is required with healthy snacks. Snacks, it can come fruits also or some vegetables. 3 meals is required. If not 4, but 3 proper meal is required for the growing children as adolescents. Fiber diet is required. Increase in fiber in diet, which contains roughage. It helps to clear the bowel system and decrease the use of salt. Salt has to be taken, but that should be minimum. Then I told you they have to drink water, plenty of water, but they should avoid drinks that are high in sugar. Fruit juice, they have a lot of calories. So the adolescents should put a restriction to that. Better to avoid the fruit juice which contain a lot of calories. Rather, if they take whole fruit is always a better choice. And most importantly, they should have a balanced diet, balanced meal, which should contain all the nutrients. Then they're not going to suffer from any of the deficiency disease. They have to take or eat fruits or vegetables for a snack. Next, the use of butter and heavy gravies should be avoided as much as possible from adolescent stage only. This, if they maintain, they'll lead a healthy life. As I tell you, they have to eat more chicken and fish to limit the red meat intake, which is mutton and all. And choose lean cuts when possible. If possible, use of the lean meat or chicken should be consumed, which is not harmful. Ultimately, if we are taking too much of butter, oil, they suffer when in the long run there's some cholesterol or triglyceride. So that is harmful for them. So we have to teach them such a way that if their intake of food is proper, then it is going to help them in the long run. They can lead a healthy life when they go adult also. These are important for them. Now here you can see it's an activity. Choose my plate. Now I'll request Arvind sir to able the chat box so that what you as teachers understand from this. What does it mean? Can anyone tell? You can write in the chat box.
Yes, sir, it is enabled.
Teachers can write. Yes, yes. Hurry, write your balanced diet. Devasis goes balanced diet. Yes. Yes, all are writing healthy balanced diet. Yes. 1/4 of diet should be fibers and roughage. Yes, it complete food. Okay, okay. All are answering. Very good. So if you see this plate, then what you find, okay, this plate, if you see, it contains all sort of the food items. What you find in this, you can find vegetables. Here you can find the traditional fruits. Okay. Here, if you come right side, we find the proteins, maybe fish, meat, which I mean to say chicken only. It is balanced diet, and different types of grains and cereals. And also the plate you can find in a bowl. We have got the dairy product. So what you find in this activity, we find that all sorts of the food items are present, which helps to have a balanced diet. If a balanced diet is taken, what is important? It helps to boost our immune system. It helps to fight against the foreign body. This is important. Okay. And it is going to provide you energy, because as students, You need to have a balanced diet, proper diet for the studies also. That's the main thing which you have to focus. If you become tired, if you can't work hard, then how can you study as students? So that is a period when students, maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, they have to work hard. So a balanced diet is required for those adolescents so that they can progress. The mental growth can take place along the physical growth. They should have thinking power. If they suffer any sort of disease, time is wasted. They have to understand that. Because once a student suffers disease, at that time he or she cannot study, cannot focus on studies, absent from school. That's loss for them. They have to understand that. So we as teachers, as parents, we have to feed their mind that nutrition is so much important. So I move on to my next slide. Arvind sir, you can disable it.
Ashish sir,
Yes, sir.
may I interrupt for 2 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Very good morning, very good evening to all of you. I just wanted to impress upon one information that I had sent to all this morning. The link for the feedback and attendance will be given exactly at 7 p.m. I will request all of you, teachers, STNCs, principals, chairpersons, vice chairpersons, to take this very seriously. You have to enter the data clearly. Full name of the school, your full name, your OSS ID given properly, and most importantly, the district which you belong to. If it is PAKUR, you mention PAKUR with the school. If it is SAHEBGANJ, you mention SAHEBGANJ. Please see that it is done properly. I will request all chairmen to see that this notice is given. To see that this notice is given. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So let us again begin. Growth and development in adolescence. As I told you, adolescence is a significant period for physical growth and sexual maturation. So this period is very crucial for them. So at the same time, inadequate nutritional intake during adolescence can have serious consequences throughout the reported years and beyond. Poor nutrition during adolescence can impair the work capacity and productivity of adolescent boys and girls in the later years. So poor nutrition during adolescence, it hampers the working capacity. And what's the working capacity of the children? Main thing is their studies. Students are the future of our country. So we need to boost up them. We need to enhance their progress. For that reason, nutrition, proper health is required. At the same time, they have to maintain the hygiene also. Because all these three terms are interrelated. Sometimes adolescents ignore what use of the personal hygiene. Hygiene and health both are interrelated. At least during this pandemic, students have come to know the importance of this personal hygiene, washing of hands, use of sanitizer, use of mask. Almost all are doing that. We have to tell them in online classes or offline classes when it's going on that yet the pandemic is not over. So they have to maintain this hygiene. They have to take proper food. Ultimately, food is important for the immune system. Moreover, further an undernourished girl is at the risk of developing complications during pregnancy, and the chances of her giving birth to a low weight baby increases. So what we find that it also hampers the newborn. So This is the importance of this growth and development in the adolescence. This is very, very important. Now here I've given some points here. You can find some food items are there, all sort of food items. So how can you improve the nutrition of the adolescents? This you have to feed them in mind. As adolescents, you have to follow certain terms and criteria what you have to do. First thing, they have to adopt a balanced diet. Diet at regular interval of time. That's the important. Breakfast at 12 o'clock, lunch at 5 o'clock. That they have to be told. Not to take food at the proper time. As adolescents, you can ask them. They've got all time to do every sort of work. But they can't take food at the proper time. They'll tell, we have to go to school because they're waking up late. We have to tell them early to bed and early to rise. Makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This, as students, they're learning from early childhood. So that is important. So if they get up early, they'll get time for the proper breakfast on time, lunch, and dinner. In between, if they take some breakfast evening, that's different thing. But that is required. They have to control excess intake of food. This happens in adolescents. They're very fond of eating. They take more than they require. So this has to be seen. They have to control excessive intake of food. Minimize intake of sweets and snacks. This many children like, either they like snacks or the sweets. It contains a lot of calorie. And if you tell avoid junk foods, they'll not like. They'll not like to listen to you. But you have to tell them, you avoid junk food, take nutritive food. Yes, once in a while students are taking junk food or fast food, different thing, but that should not be regular. We as teachers will tell them that will not allow Maggie or Charmin to go up to school. If this can be done, then they'll bring some nutritive food to school also as tiffin. That sometimes we're doing. Regular physical exercise. Regular physical exercise is important, okay, because it helps for the blood circulation, respiratory enhancement, muscular growth, okay, and they can keep themselves fit. But what we are observing nowadays, we find children are very fond of playing games, but in their computer or on the laptop or on the mobile. But if they do any sort of physical exercise, maybe running, jogging, cycling, whatever they do, it is going to help them. And always eat breakfast with a skip as students. We don't have time. Early in the morning, we have to go to school. So they go to school of taking food. These are the harmful effects. So the nutrition of adolescents has to be increased. Next, come to our next slide. Now here I have given one chart. When birth takes place, at that time, the dependent on the mother's milk, 7 days, 28 days, up to 1 year. Here we are seeing going. We're not concerned about that. Okay, 1 year to 5 years, they need energy and nutrient adequate diet. Okay. During the age of 5 to 10, at this age, they're going to the primary schools. So for that reason, the school meals are required. Okay. When you come to 10 to 20 years, at that time, they're generally adolescents. So adolescent dietary advice, which we have just not discussed, this is important. At this time, they think that whatever they're doing is correct. They can take their own decisions. What teachers are telling, what parents are telling are all wrong. They're always correct. This is the field. Okay. So here, for that reason, adolescent dietary advice is very, very important for all the teenagers and the adolescents. If they can maintain that, in that you can see up to this period, whatever is there, they will lead a healthy life. Okay, because it's natural phenomena. Okay, aging and death is natural phenomena. It is offered to all, but will not struggle, will not suffer from lot of disease. So physical work, physical activities, proper food, proper hygiene, it helps to maintain our own health. And this is a time period where they go wayward. Now here you see it is here different food items are present. Okay. It is, you can see in the form pyramid. Grains, they are required in more amount, so at the base. Okay. Then we need some amount of vegetables and fruits. As we go up, okay, in this ecological pyramid, it is from the pyramid only. I'm sorry to say ecological pyramid. This food pyramid, you can see how different food items are present. Okay. Meat, fish, egg, and alternatives. Okay. Or milk and alternatives. Here, fat, oil, salt, and sugar, they also require a small amount. Okay. So here in this, what you find that if all these things are consumed, what you find at the base, okay, like this one, different sort of the cereals or grains are present. Okay, that is staple food, primary staple food. Okay, here 2 times are taking either rice or wheat. Some people take rice both time, but there should be balanced diet. Vegetable all sort, you can see here. It contains lot of minerals and all. Green leafy vegetables, we have different sort of fruits. Seasonal fruits has to be consumed. Okay. Meat, fish, egg, and alternatives. If you're not taking meat, fish, and egg, other alternatives are there which can provide proteins. Milk in any form, that's dairy product, it has to be consumed because milk is a complete food and is required for children. It also contains calcium also at the same time, and healthy fat or oil, salt and sugar is required. Now, what affects the nutrition adolescents? Why this happens? Okay. Why they sometimes lack food? Why they don't take the balanced diet? If you think, then you'll find that a lot of points are there. Maybe there might be lack of knowledge in the family and community about the importance of nutrition during adolescence. Maybe economic conditions not good, lack of food because of socio-economic circumstances, inequitable distribution of food in family, wherein girls are being denied the nutritious food, poor dietary intake of food and vegetables rich in iron. Sometimes if they don't maintain.
Sir, excuse me, Ashish sir.
Yes, sir.
For 1 minute. Who is Sarbani Chatterjee? Please stop. Scratch the screen. It is very pathetic. Sir is taking a very vital portion. Please don't disturb. Sir, you can continue, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Then poor bioavailability of iron in the diet, hookworm infestation. Maybe worms can enter the body through the food only. If proper public hygiene and proper hygiene not maintained, disease malaria can spread. The breeding places of the mosquitoes has been destroyed. Bad cooking habits, overboiling vegetables and straining water, removing husks from wheat, eating polished rice. So there's some bad cooking habits. Even perpetuation of a vicious cycle of malnutrition and infection, which might begin even before birth, may have some serious consequences for the girl. Now we come to the health in the adolescents. If you see this slide, what does it indicate? Can you tell me? Arvind sir, you can able the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Yes, anyone can respond what you can understand from this.
Yes, sir. It is enabled.
Yes. Healthy habits, healthy baby. Okay, okay. Avoid junk food. Yes. More answers. Good lifestyle. Yes, good habits. Healthy living. Balanced diet, fresh water. Healthy habits. Yes, yes. Yes, avoid alcohol. This is a good point. Good habits. अच्छी आदतें. Proper nutrition. No intoxication. Healthy habits. Regular exercise. Okay, so many points you have got. So you have to come to know about this. Okay. Yes, Arvind sir, you can disable it. Here you can see healthy behaviors that start in adolescence make healthy adults. So what is required? You can find physical activity is required for proper health. Healthy diet is required. And invest in adolescent health to prevent non-communicable disease. Say no to tobacco and alcohol, drug abuse that is. That is a point which teenagers should be avoided. They should be built up in such a way that they should not get addicted to all these things. This is going to spoil their career. As teenagers, as adolescents, because of peer pressure or something, they get addicted to tobacco and alcohol and drugs, which need to be avoided. We as teachers, we as guardians, we have to tell them that you should not do all these things. Okay. We have to brush up their mind. What is good, what is bad. And one more thing, that is, apart from this point about the rash driving, students are fond of that. As much as possible, parents should not give them two-wheelers. That is having an effect on health only. There might be accident, road accident taking place, rash driving taking place. Ultimately, the youth are the future generation. We need to preserve them, we have to take care of them. So health is an important factor for that reason. Health in adolescence, despite being thought of as healthy stage of life, there might be significant death, illness, and injury in the adolescence years, as you're telling just now. Children are thought to be more healthy, but if they don't lead a proper life, it is going to have a consequent health only. Okay. So for that reason, it can lead to death. It can be maybe violence. It can be accidents. If they don't take proper food, don't have proper hygiene, illness, and injury. Much of this is preventable or treatable. Much can be prevented, or some can be treatable also. During this phase, adolescents establish patterns of behavior, for instance, related to diet, physical activity, substance use, and sexual activity that can protect the health and the health of others around them, or it can put the health at risk now and in the future. So for that reason, what is required, that health in adolescence is very important. Okay, so we need to tell them what is required, what is not required. Okay, how to take care, how they'll be away from the violence, how they will be away from the addiction of the bikes, from drugs. So if they can do so, then ultimately what you find is that they'll survive in the long run. Health issues in adolescence, which are discussing. What are major health in the adolescence? Adolescents, they suffer from many sort of problems. Yes, Sometimes we have to guide them. We cannot always scold them. First, injuries, unintentional injuries because of, as I tell you, rash driving or accidents, because sometimes parents give them two-wheeler. Sometimes without telling the parents only, they take out the bike and they meet accident. One thing more, violence. Interpersonal violence is one leading cause of death in many parts of the world. Sometimes you find that teenagers, they got involved in violence. They got involved fighting. These have got ultimately the consequence is on the health. If at that time, if you don't focus on studies, if this is going to disturb you, how can you study? Ultimately, if you are not doing properly because of some pressure, mental pressure, it's going to have effect on mental health. And what you observe now in this case, in the teenagers nowadays, in the adolescents, depression. Generally between 14 to 18 or 18 to 20, you find they're going to start depression. Depression may be of any reason, but here needs the counseling of teachers. If you find in the class any student is going on depression, we'll try to find out the cause. We'll try to tell them and we'll give positive values to them so that they can come out from that. If in class you can understand anyone is going depression, it is a duty as teachers to inform to their parents so that they can take care of the children. So it is very important, mental health. Alcohol and drug use. Now sometimes students, they get addicted to that. Sometimes want to test it for the first time. Sometimes because of peer pressure. Okay. So alcohol, drugs and tobacco use. These have a concern of the health issues. HIV and AIDS, that is sexually transmitted disease. If they don't maintain a disciplined life, sometimes they get infected. At the same time, teenagers can also suffer from other infectious disease. Sometimes it leads to early pregnancy and childbirth. Next point is sometimes because of the nutrition problem, they suffer from the deficiency disease. That's the micronutrient deficiency. And if they don't do physical activity, it's going to have effect on them. Physical activity is very important. They have to do so. Let's come to this slide. Now this is the activity. Please, Arvind sir, enable the chat box. What do you understand from this? I'm not getting any response.
Arvind says the chat box enabled.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
From the activity, wait, since I'm not getting response, you can understand from the activity that either, yes, exercise, some written jogging, yes. Please don't do annotation. Yes, it is showing jogging, you can see here. It means what? They are doing physical activity. Early in the morning or evening time, whenever students get time, they do some sort of physical activity. Physical activity, it can moderate to vigorous. It is advised for teenagers to do about 60 minutes exercise, which is going to make them healthy. It will tell them to lead a healthy life. So this is important for them. So as not only as adolescents or teenagers, jogging, running, playing football, whatever is there, it is required for all of us to maintain a healthy life. This is very important. Next, we come to our next slide. Here, we come to personal hygiene. Here, in this, we see equal to maintain personal hygiene, the washing of hands. Okay. Now, during this pandemic, it was advised to wash our hands properly, at least minimum for 20 seconds. Okay. We have to take soap and water, and you have to, you see, first case, you have to rub palm to palm between the fingers. Then you have to rub from back of hands with the foam of the soap. Base of thumb, base of fingers, fingernails, wrist. So every part of the hand, it has to be taken care of, so that the hand is being washed properly. If you are washing hand with soap and water, it is going to clear the germs. Yes, maybe it is not going to kill the germs, but it is going to clear it. Okay. So soap and water helps to remove all types of germs from hands, but at the same time, okay, now because of the pandemic, we're using too much of the sanitizer. Okay. So washing of hands, where all the fingers, nails, thumb, this palm, everything has to be cleaned properly. Then we have to wipe and dry it. Okay. If possible, in some places you'll find that the blower is there, where you can use a hand to dry it off. After washing, we have to take our meal directly. And at the same time, we have to make a habit of not putting our fingers into our mouth or nose or anywhere. This is very important. Next, use of hand sanitizer. How to use it? Okay. When using sanitizer, this sanitizer, they help to kill the germs if it's alcohol based. Generally, what you find that this sanitizer contains ethanol, okay, from 60 to 90%, or sometimes it also contains isopropanol. Okay. So now we all are using sanitizer. Students are also using sanitizer. You need to tell them, use sanitizer properly. Okay. Under personal hygiene only. Okay. This you can see what is required for the adolescents. They have to take bath regularly. They have to wear clean clothes. They have to brush their teeth at least twice a time. They have to maintain oral hygiene. Washing of the eyes. Okay. Whenever we come home from outside, we should wash our eyes. You have to take care of ears. Sometimes what happens, the ear eggs settle down and it causes a lot of pain. And proper grooming, this is also required. So to maintain this personal hygiene, which I mentioned, which are very common, that has to be done. The students and adolescents, what they do, they avoid taking bath regularly. It's very cold. I'll not take bath. But we tell them, if they take bath regularly, it is going to refresh them. They'll feel more healthy. And at the same time, you have to advise them, wear clean clothes. Brush your teeth properly. You have to tell them how to brush as teachers. Simply rubbing the teeth not help. They have to put up and down slowly, and to use a proper toothbrush, that comes under that. So when you're talking personal hygiene, at the same time, adolescent girls, they need to maintain the menstrual hygiene also at the same time. Okay. Use of the proper menstrual napkins and the disposal, that also comes under the hygiene only. Okay. So that what we can see that if they maintain proper menstrual hygiene, they can do cycling, running, exercise, because girls are not far behind. They also need to perform all these activities so that they can also maintain healthy life. Okay. So next, skin care. Now, skin care has also to be taken. Okay. So they have to wash their face twice a time. Avoid washing too often, as the skin will dry up. They have to keep oily hair from skin. They're not going to squeeze or pick the pimples. They have to try to avoid touching the face. Keep hands clean by washing them often. So these are the personal hygiene which you have to maintain. Okay. So now today I'm going to end my topic here. Okay. I've discussed on the nutrition, health, and hygiene of the adolescents. Okay. Here, thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Badal sir to give the vote of thanks.
Stop.
Thank you, sir. Respected and our most distinguished chairman, vice chairman, and members of different SAHODAYA, and all the principals of different schools with their STNCs and delegates who are present here. First of all, a very good evening to all of you. I deem it a great honor to propose a vote of thanks to all who have helped us in the making this today's workshop such a resounding success. First of all, I would like to propose 30 vote of thanks to our presenter, Mr. Anupam sir, for gracing today's seminar. Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking address. Now, I would like to thank our distinguished resource person, Mr. ASHIS BANERJEE sir, for making excellent presentation and making this seminar interesting and meaningful. Thanks a lot, sir, again. And I would like to express our profound gratitude to our Jksm SAHODAYAS chairman, Mr. TK Sinha sir, and vice chairman, Mr. Basudev Mahato sir, for his presence in this seminar. Also, I would like to thank our most beloved person, Mr. Jubin sir, for his moral support and guidance. I am happy to express vote of thanks to our participants member who have made this seminar a grand success. During the seminar, we have learned a lot. I thank all the people who have participated overwhelmingly and making the event success. I would like to thank the technical teams for making this seminar a great success. Finally, the wonderful participants who have turned up in such a great numbers, not only from our SAHODAYA, but also from other district SAHODAYA. Thank you. Thank you so much for your cooperation and support and love. Once again, I thank all for your cordial cooperation. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Now, one information I would like to give you all. Attendance in this training are completely compulsory. Just filling the attendance cum feedback form will not do. It will be tally according to the registration detail. Otherwise, your certificate will not issue because the whole process is answerable to COE Patna. So I would like to request all of you to ensure the work remains same in the training schedule and also filling at the registration on time. Thank you all once again. Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you, sir.
I have to say something on behalf of Jharkhand SAHODAYA, Jksm SAHODAYA, to our principals, STNCs and teachers. While filled up the feedback form, several times notice have been there in the group that in capital letter you filled up your school name, affiliation number, your name very properly. Repeated reminder is going daily. Furthermore, same mistakes are coming and it will be very difficult to issue the certificates. At that time, you don't tell us that this is the mistake, sir, please correct it, please do it, please do that, do this like this. Please try to fill up the feedback form very properly. And now I request Mr. Pradipto Mukherjee and Mr. Pranesh Solomon to speak some words over here. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, everybody. Sir Arvind sir, you forget one thing. That please you give a big thanks to our all entire technical team, because they are true hero. Yes, sir. And again, I thank ASHIS sir and our all teams who are there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Pranesh Solomon is there. Chairman GODDA, Mr. Pranesh Solomon. Mr. Arvind. Mr. Arvind.
Yes, sir.
If am I audible to you, you do one thing from Mr. Abhishek Solomon is there. So as a co-host, you can enter him.
Yes, sir. I have made him co-host. Just I'm finding is there or not.
Furthermore, Pranesh Solomon is not speaking anything.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Just
now
I'm
you
checking.
start your feedback form.
Yes, sir. I have given already.
Okay, thank you. Good night to you all.
Participant, please fill it properly.
Arvind sir. Arvind sir. Arvind sir.